Welcome back to another episode of the Forest Hard Mode. So, last episode, I was getting my butt kicked a lot. So, after some serious trial and error off screen, I finally managed to get past that part I was at last time. And we're going to try a little more cave exploration here and see how that goes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so what I ended up having to do was lure the cannibals who outnumbered me pretty significantly down into the water, have them jump after me, fall into the water, and drown. And it was a slow, arduous process. I really don't think anyone needs to see that, so if you feel differently, let me know. But I figured that was something probably best accomplished off screen. Alright. I like the lighter better than the flashlight in a lot of ways. The big exception of that being that the lighter sometimes just goes out at really inopportune times. So, yeah. Can't carry any more meds. Ooh. Well, if that's true, let's take some meds. Alright. So, ooh. Maybe this was the cliff where I got my butt kicked, actually. Well, I mean, I've got my butt kicked so many times now, it's gonna be hard to keep track. Maybe other people don't find hard mode as challenging as I do, but I would assume that these other people have a lot more skills than I do at this sort of thing, so, you know, I'm just gonna keep plugging away and probably dying a lot. What I lack in skill, I will make up in persistence. So I don't know if that's like a full-on other path or just a little hideaway. Ooh, I hear something big and mean. Is it coming from this way? Huh. Well, I keep saying fortune favors the brave, but so far I'm not sure that's right. I don't think I've actually seen that borne out in the in this narrative thus far. Got a small. Yeah, the big beefy guy's definitely down that way. Let me through. Let me through. Let me. Can I duck under it? I can duck under it. Okay. Ooh, a new thing. It's an old photo of what looks like a big flame tower kind of thing, like a pillar you would build a tower or a fire at the top of. Let's throw them. Flare down there and see what we see. I see a great big tentacle mass of arms. Let's see how a great big tentacle mass of arms feels about explosives. It didn't hit him, fortunately. I think I just wasted an explosive. And I blew up my flare in the process. I guess flares don't give off much light when they're in lots and lots of teeny tiny pieces. No, my flares are just getting lost to the void. Well, that's unfortunate, because I'm not going to fight that guy up close and personal without him being a little weakened first, at the very least. Yeah. Did I hit him? I think it may have. And he survived it. Wow, okay. That one got close to him. And he survived that. One more for good measure. Did he survive that too? Oh my gosh. This guy's a trooper. That was a fair bit of high explosive he just took to the face. Alright. You know, more than a little terrified now. Because if I can't get a good angle on him to shoot arrows into his face, then I'm going to have to do this at point blank range. And that guy looks big and beefy and, maybe most importantly, angry. Ooh, that's... Nope, he's not dead. He's not even sort of dead. Well, unless he's some sort of undead. I guess then he might be sort of dead. It's a really bad spot. I can't shoot down at that angle, unfortunately. I have no more explosives. I could craft some more, though. Actually, that's probably the way to go here. Let's go ahead and do that, because I have zero interest in going down there with him. It is polite of him just to stay down there at the bottom, I suppose. Did he ever move away from the edge? It looks like he may have. I see something. Ah! And my arrow bounced off into the far distance. And I'm going through flares pretty quickly. Yeah, we're just going to try an explosive on him. You know, it didn't work all those other times. I'm sure this is the time that it's totally going to work. I have faith. I have faith, and that faith was not even sort of borne out. Well, okay, it looked like he just leapt. I don't know if you could see that very well. It looked like he leapt way into the air and then fell down dead. And while I'm at a loss to explain it, I'm certainly not complaining. Okay, well this is horrifying. A great big pile of naked bodies. I'm guessing that's more than was on the plane, so they've been bringing dead people down here for quite some time, I would guess. That's a scene out of a nightmare. Alright. You know, my light went out. I'm kind of tempted to leave it out, danger notwithstanding, because I'm not sure how much of this I really want to see. I might have to put some warning labels on this episode. Alright, well there's an episode of The Ethical Scientist. Ancient artifacts, can this device bring back the dead? Well, that thickens the plot noticeably. So if they're trying to bring back the dead, and here's another, a Sahara electronic keycard. So, okay, is this, that may go quite a ways to explaining all those mutants. I wonder then, if all these cannibals, whose skin tone is pretty notably not a human skin tone for a lot of them are gray. So I wonder if there's some sort of undead who've been revived and their brain's been rotted, and if somebody's been doing science experiments on them to make the great big beefy mutants who are pretty clearly stitched out of the pieces of other people. Is that what's going on here? I think I'm going to have to explore a lot more caves to find the answer to that. And hopefully I'll figure out where that keycard goes. That implies there's some place on this island that has electricity, or peninsula, that has electricity, which is something that I haven't seen so far, even in my other game where I played a lot longer and mostly just built stuff. And another question, if it has electricity, and it has these scientists who are building these horrific science fair experiments, things they're doing. Did I just get lost? It's fine. I can get a little lost. But if that's what's going on here, then are there people on the peninsula who aren't cannibals? People, mad, evil scientist types in lab coats and, clothes, who are making all this happen, choosing to stay behind the scenes for all of this. Added to notes section of the book. Well, first and foremost, I need to light a fire, but I think I need to start looking through the notes section of the book here. I usually kind of ignore it, like, it's just non-essential flavor stuff that has no bearing on my life. But no, I think that the developers are trying to tell me a story here. And I lit myself on fire. I should not have done that. Stop, drop, roll. Roll around in the water. Something. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's go ahead and take some meds after that. Let's drink some water. Okay. And while I'm warming up a bit, let us look at the notes. Notes. Oh, yeah, regular cannibals are in the bestiary, of course. Virginia, very tough and fast. Watch out for jumping attacks. Yeah, figured that out. Fire explosives could be effective. Babies are weak but deadly in large numbers. Yep. Pale enemies. The ones I've been calling the gray cannibals. Yeah, faster and stronger. Tools. Nature guide and notes. But yeah, that stuff. Ancient artifacts. Can this device bring back the dead? And it says count and binary, special report, how we changing how we think about death, and liquid anger management, how water can calm the soul and ease the mind. I wonder how many of those are just for flavor and how many are bearing. Oh, that thing that I thought was a tower. That's the same picture. The thing that I thought was some sort of flame tower is apparently the artifact that may or may not bring back the dead. The one that, I'd picked up a picture of, and it's not stored in here. Of course it's not. Anyway. But it looked like a rough charcoal drawing of this tower that's sort of almost like an obelisk except with a flat top kind of thing. And then it looked like it might have some giant crystal at the very top of it. And a lot of old bones. So, okay, whatever this science project is they've been working on it a long time because they have piles and piles of relatively fresh-ish bodies and then piles and piles of old bones. So, whatever this is, it's been a long time in the making. But yeah, I'd kind of given those warnings about violence and dismemberment and all that at the very beginning of the series. And although there's been a fair bit of that, to be sure, it hadn't been that bad until I got here. And it got pretty bad, so yeah. I may need to throw some new warnings up. Light. Light again, because my arrows go out whenever I go down a road. Oh, just a skull. Nope, I don't need any skulls, thanks. Ah! Hello. Greetings and salutations. Is he alone? If he's just one, I'm not too worried. If he's one of a larger group, then I'm very, very worried. So I can keep one hit stunned or flamed or occupied in some manner until I eventually wear him down into death. When it's a group of them, that's not really so much an option. Okay, yeah. One-on-one, I don't fear the humanoid enemies. Anyway, let's go ahead and... wrong button again. Let's go ahead and light a fire, because it looks like I'm getting really cold, not just sort of kind of cold. Going through my leaves pretty quickly. And I should eat something. Let's have a dried fresh rabbit. And a little water while we're at it, sure. Down to 62% in that, but I'm still full in my water skin. Actually, how's our sanity doing? 78%. All things considered, not terrible. Other than that, I'm doing pretty well. Feeling a little cold, but that's why we're here. Alright, I think I may be okay. So yeah, sanity is drained by being underground, maybe by fighting the mutants, I'm not really sure. I I thought I'd read somewhere that eating human flesh drains your sanity, which makes sense. And then eating certain kinds of food, I'm guessing, the more generic meat or rabbit meat or stuff like that, restores a little bit of sanity, and sleeping restores sanity, and maybe something else. Maybe a lot of other things, actually. I don't have an exhaustive list built, but... Now let's take all right turns now. I think I was taking left turns to get where I was. I've gotten turned around again. I ended up hanging a left to go through that little passageway that led me to the cave of horrors with the key card in it. And that magazine piece about the bringing back the dead. So, with all the dead bodies, if the goal is bringing back the dead, were they not interested in bringing those people back? Do they need to harvest their life force? Is it like a Full Metal Alchemist kind of thing? Where, spoilers, by the way, for Full Metal Alchemist, if you're going to get into that. Do you need to take a lot of life in order to give life? It's one of those things with a really low efficiency rate. So... Or do they just really not, are all of those people just experiments, just points of data, and they're slowly clawing their way? Ooh, this is new, maybe? And my light went out at that moment. Of course, a dark-haired person is trying to harm you will soon disappear from your life, and you'll be extremely happy. Okay, I've seen that several times ad nauseum now, so okay. Go ahead and light this, why not? At least be a point of light, should I have to return. Well, this is odd. Does it? Oh, no, there's a passageway through here. It was just covered up by junk. Ooh, and a way out. And it's nighttime. So I think what I'm going to do here is, at night, make my way back to a camp. And I'll spare you that because you won't be able to see much. So I will see you next time.